Hey everybody, can you hear me okay? Let me get this up, see what I'm doing here. Dashboard, classic, just too different. Okay, 2097, live streaming, let's see what we got going here. Events, Tucker Tuesday. All right, I do have the chat open now. Let me see. I wonder if I can go to the live control room. Yes, I can. The stream is bad. Huh. Huh. I don't understand what the problem is. Let's see. Go back. All right, it says the stream is bad, but we'll see what happens here. I don't have much control over things doing it this way, but the camera is better. So I did a little bit, as you can see here, I did a little bit of work off camera. About 2 hours work. I went ahead and finished the wing up and got it glued together. It's pretty much repetition. It's the same thing that we did before, and I cut up some cap strips. Now I want to talk about cap strips and what I do with them. The only way to make a light airplane is to leave parts off and use light wood. So as I did on the bottom here, or on the trailing edge, this piece of wood is 3/4 of an inch instead of 1 inch, and the trailing edge is 1/8 inch instead of 1/4 inch. So that leaves off 1/4 inch of wood on the trailing edge and 1/8 of an inch of wood on the trailing edge. The next thing is these cap strips that I use. I cut my cap strips to 3/16 of an inch. 3/16 is plenty. And you ask, well, why do I cut them to 3/16 instead of 1/4 inch? Well, if you think about it, every fourth rib I leave one of these off, because this is 1/16 of an inch less than 1/4, so 1/16, 1/16, 1/16, 1/16, that's one cap strip that I've left off. So I've 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 2 cap strips. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 3 cap strips. 2, 3, 4, that's 4 cap strips. 5 cap strips. 1, 2, that's 6 cap strips. About 6.5 cap strips I've left off just by leaving 1/16 of an inch off each cap strip. And you say, well, that's nothing. That's not, that doesn't, everything that you leave off is something. And that's the only way you're going to build a light airplane. You have to leave off parts. So let's cut a few cap strips. I'm not going to be on long tonight. These repetitious building streams or whatever. I don't know. It's just tough on me. Here's another thing that I'd like to kind of hit on. I've cut that cap strip and it doesn't fit. It's just a little too big. Well, don't force it in there because you'll end up with a warped wing. You have to trim it off till it fits perfect or sand it or whatever. But it has to fit in there without any pressure. Otherwise, you'll warp the wing. So, we have one. And just tack it in there and see how it acts. You want to make sure that that is square with the leading and the trailing edge too, flat. You don't want it cocked or rolled like that. That looks like hell when you cover the airplane. So I tack them in and make sure they're squared up. Now, what I just had the knife. Here it is. I've got to switch out this scalpel blade if I can find one. Yep. I found that the scalpel works best for the high detail cutting of these cap strips because they're so thin. However, be very careful with these because they're so sharp it's ridiculous. You can get these scalpels on eBay, Amazon, or whatever. It's about $6 for the handle and 100 blades. And they're all sterile. If you ever have to do an operation on yourself, which I do on occasion, there's no worry about getting any germs. Okay, so we got a new blade in there. Let's see how it works. Now, that last cut that you made on there should be the same angle you need for the next. So you just kind of go down the way. I have to cap the inside of the trailing edge yet, and I'll make sure to show that when I do that as well. I'm just doing this to give you something to look at. The wing weighs 4 ounces so far. I'll be using my Steve Wilk Bellcrank in this one. These are the lightest Bellcranks going. They're 7 grams for this Bellcrank. So we're trying to keep the Tucker Special light. You got to cut weight wherever you can. 7 grams seems like a reasonable weight to me. In the old days, it was the Vico or the Fox Bellcrank. I hear my neighbor playing his guitar. I hope it doesn't... All I hear is buzzing. I hope it doesn't... It doesn't translate to the video. I can see the chat if you have... if you'd like to type something in. Hopefully Rusty will be back here shortly to continue the chat. I just can't do them on Monday. They're just... Now, I don't know how many videos that I've put out on the Tucker Special so far. If somebody'd like to tell me, that'd be great. But aside from the 2 hours that I put into this off camera, I mean, unfortunately, this thing's going to take shape quicker than I thought, and I'm going to have another airplane. I don't know that I can handle all these airplanes. So people that say they don't have time, it's just not right. I mean, I haven't hardly worked on this at all, and I've got an airplane. Trust me, if I wanted to hustle this and get it done in a week. I see some of my people that follow me working on a fuselage for 3 or 4 months. Come on, guys, it ain't that hard. Boy, I wish the neighbor would quit playing that guitar. It's buzzing. That's all I hear. I might go over there and knock on the door if it don't stop here shortly. Okay. These cap strips are finish glued in the detail glue. You got to make sure you go back and detail glue everything. There's there is a slight difference in this tucker than the stock one. That this will be set up to use my hinges. They probably use cloth hinges on the original. But other than that, it's the same as it was when it was built in the 60s. Except it'll have a real engine in it. Oh, Jeff, if you're listening, I haven't sent your Fox, but I'll get it off to you. Oh, see how that bows up? You can't have that. That will put a warp in that, wash that tip out so quick it's ridiculous. So we have to trim it off. You want all these joints, especially on cap strips, to fit perfect. When I pick up an airplane when I'm appearance judging and I see cap strips that are misaligned and don't fit, they're not flat, all that shows me is that, the guy didn't take time to do his job. What's going on with this? Yeah, I guess it did go. Get on there. Okay, so in the short time, I see we got a question here. All right, Jeff, I'll get it off this week, I promise. I haven't forgot. And this is the last cap strip on the inboard side. We could cut some sheeting, just get it ready. It's not ready for center sheeting yet, but I also want to show the compression spar I'm gonna do in this. A little different because I went to Radical RC, which is a hobby shop here in Dayton, and it's probably the best old time RC or hobby shop around. You say, well, RC, we don't fly RC. Well, this is a hobby shop that has kits and glue and parts and paint and props and stuff. Why am I having a hard time with this glue bottle? And the guy lets me go in there and weigh wood, and except he's not open on Saturday anymore. Okay, so that's how fast that that went. So I have a Durablock that I use. I love this Durablock. You can get these on Amazon. Ah, I broke it. No worries, only wood. Throw it away, get a new one. When you're doing this, you don't want to sand too much on the leading edge. Ah, what happened here? Didn't get it all out of there. Okay, that's that. Now, I'm not streaming on Jitsi. I'm streaming through my phone, so there's no way to bring anybody in to ask questions. Because somebody complained about how crappy the webcam was. You've heard the adage, you can't make everybody happy. Well, it seems that I can't make anybody happy. This is a Great Plains activator. I really like this stuff. In a spray can instead of them spray bottles where you they don't work with a crap. Anyway, that's basically how I install cap strips, and the reason behind the 3/16 cap strips instead of quarter. You cannot make a light airplane and keep all the parts on it. You got to leave parts off. This is going to be a super nice airplane. Because I'm taking so much time building it, everything should be right. Where normally close enough for government. This is 320 sandpaper here. Certainly don't want to use 80 grit. I'll probably be covering this with Japanese tissue. I have that high dollar English Japanese tissue down in the corner there. And it's going to have solid wingtips, so I don't have to worry about going around any compound curves, which is kind of a problem. Anyway, this is the Tucker Special progress. How this is done is 2 halves are built in the cradle. Then I got a piece of glass and that I work on, 1/2 inch glass, so it's straight. Tape the cradles together, as you can see here. And when I glue these 2 halves together, I set it right on the center line. Put the negatives on top of this and weight it down, and then stick them together. The 2 1/8-inch ribs in the center is what gives you a surface to glue on. I do have to, that's another change that I made in my Tucker. I found that this has been working out for me pretty well, setting the engine or the tank back. So this is only set back 1/2 inch because I have a 1/2 inch extension on it, so I've moved the engine back 1/2 inch and the tank back 1/2 inch. So in order to do that, I have to relieve this area right here 1/2 inch and strengthen it up, and I'll do that with some fiberglass cloth. So let's see what it's going to look like with the center sheeting in it. How much of a center sheet do we want? How to get that nice center sheeting joint. Now this is the way right here. Part of building model airplanes is knowing the tricks, and as I stated when I started Stunt Hanger, is there are no secrets. Everybody's trying to keep everything a secret, you know, a secret. Well, that's BS. Okay, so now I've taped these sheets in where they go. Oh, I know I got a good ruler here somewhere. There we are. How to get perfect joints. So now I just put the 2 sheets together, and we're going to cut through both sheets down the straight edge. They fit perfect, so we'll take them off, glue them together, set them up here, trace them out on the bottom, put the the circles in them with my circle template. I can't believe that, you know, I hope that you guys get one thing out of each one of the videos I do. Gotta have a ballpoint pen though. You know, I know most of the tricks, so it. Okay. Now because I don't have any room, I got to move the wing off the workbench so I can glue the sheets down. It's unbelievable. Now you don't want to glue from the outside or from the top side because that leaves a hard spot. So how do you get it to line up? Pretty simple. As a matter of fact, real simple. So I put some registry marks on the sheet here to the outside. And we'll glue on the outside to that registry mark. You don't want one there because that's on the top. All right, been working a half an hour already. Doesn't seem like it, but okay. Flip it over. That's it. Sanding block, sand it perfectly flat. Yep. These little things that I'm showing you help in them, they don't help in the model flying. They just help in the overall appearance when it's done. Okay, so we have the first piece of sheeting ready to be transcribed and cut, put on, whatever. So now I got to get the wing back. And don't think that you can just take that sheet and make another one just like it for the other side, because that's not how it works. It will not fit. This will be cut out anyway. Let's see. I had a piece. Here we go. This is my basswood compression spar, so we're going to cut these ribs away here anyway. I'm doing some stuff at work. I wish I knew what I was doing like I know what I'm doing here. But I never built nothing like what I'm doing at work. So next one I'll figure it out. What this is, I'm just relieving this spot here for my compression spar. Got it prematurely, but I want to make sure that it's going to fit down in there. See, it's not deep enough. There we are. I guess I can cut that now. Oh well. I'll do the compression spar in the next go around. Okay, I stick it up on there like so. I'll take a couple of pins. Pin it where it belongs. Oh shit, way off. Okay, you just turn it over. This stuff is so simple if you just think about it. Okay. All right, I like big turnouts in mine, so I try to get the biggest ones I can on there. We'll put this one in. Now, because this is an acute angle on the bottom, you can't use the big circle on the bottom because it'll look funny. You know what? I need to measure that. Make sure that it looks even. The redneck ruler. It's close enough. Okay, so now we use the 1 inch on the bottom. Looks alright. If it doesn't look good, I'll make another one. Alright, what do I do with the knife? There it is over there. Alright. So let's cut this one out. No music, no dancing girls, no entertainment, just me. I guess that'll be alright. Huh. Got a little spot there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to sand that out or not. Yeah, play a song on the piano. Sure, Steve. I can do scales, and I'm not worth a crap yet. But I'm working on it. It's harder than you think. Okay, I will be able to get that out. Okay, that's good. So, I had a slight nib right there. All right. There's my sheeting. One. It's pushing down in there right now because I don't have that compression spar in there, but this lays up. All this stuff locks everything together. The compression spar glues to the sheeting glues to the fuselage, and the spreader inside the fuselage glues to the Bellcrank. So, kind of like building a beam wing airplane. So let's see what we got for weight so far. So, you know, it was 4 ounces before. I'll go ahead and leave this off so you can see inside there. Show you that I'm not bullshitting you. Oop. Alright, I don't know if you can see it. But, 4.15 ounces is what it says now. So that added, I don't know, a few grams. Let's see here. 4.05 for just the cap strips. And this, let's weigh it in grams mode. Nope. 118 grams for the whole wing. So far. I guess you can't see in there very good. But we tried. 118 grams. You're not going to build light airplanes unless you have light wood, though. I tell you that right now. So, let's see, what else we got going on? Oh, I'll give you an update on this. Everybody knows that I've been upgrading my Tigers to the Brian Gardner ABC liners, so that's one that's done already. I just got an order of Boca bearings in, and one more Brian Gardner ABC liner. This guy's it's a work of art. These are great. The fits are just perfect. That's an ABC liner. Super Tiger. So, a little pricey, but for what you get, well worth it. Where'd that Fox 35 go? We gotta get this to Jeff. I will never use that. he likes them, so okay, whatever. This is the motor here for this airplane. Well, that thing got great compression for a little 32. All right, so basically a recap of what I done tonight, which is basically nothing. My normal scheme of things is I cut a sheet and put on some cap strips. Let me give you a little insight to how I do things, though. This ruler, that's not going to be good. This ruler has a piece of sandpaper on it. Got an 80 grit on one end and 180 on the other. I think I'm going to make a new sheet. Got a little nick right there. I don't think I can live with that unless I can move it over and sand it out. Oh yeah, I might be able to get that out. Oh yeah, there's enough there. No. I'm gonna have to make a new one. I'll do that off camera when I'm not explaining it. And it's something that most guys wouldn't even worry about. It's just a little tiny nick right there, but I don't like that. Because sure as shit, I'll paint that airplane. I'm like, look what I did there. I should have fixed it. So, what do we got here now? Let's back it up a little bit. Oh, shoot. It's so difficult. All these stupid wires and stuff. There we go. All right. Let's go ahead and cut these pieces of basswood. Now what I normally do is I make it as long as my sheeting and then I trim out the pieces. This is basswood, it's not plywood. Soft hardwood, or it's not even really hardwood, it's softwood. But it's light, it's adequate for the job. I have in the past, in a pinch, used light ply. However, I don't recommend it because your wing may fold and then you'll be mad at me. But I have never had a wing fold. Never. For the simple reason, make nice joints, and we'll just use the this saw here. So I'll have to do this off. I'll have to grind this off camera because it'll buzz you right out of here. Go ahead and cut these two. I still need to wrap lines, bush the Bellcrank lead outs. So anyway, now here's my two basswood spars. Let's see what they weigh. Probably more than I want, but you gotta have them. Nine grams for both of them. But we'll take, when we cut the ends off of them, I'll show you what I'm talking about here. We'll take at least a gram off. So it'll be 8 grams, quarter of an ounce total. That's what keeps your wing from folding right there. Remember, this is a monocoque type setup, so I'm going to mark these out. And if you're carrying around this wood, you're just carrying around extra parts. So off camera, I'll do this because it'll be noisy. But I'll cut away this piece right here, because it's just stuff we're carrying around. Do not drill holes in this. The only hole that should be in it is the Bellcrank pivot. So what this does, it's epoxied to the 1/8 inch spar. Normally, when I do a C-tube wing, it's two 3/16 square spars, top and bottom. But this one here on the upside is in compression, and the other one on the bottom is in expansion, and then vice versa. So it's compressing this and pulling on the bottom one. But if you don't have this, you'll fold the wings to shit. Yeah, it eliminates some dead weight, hopefully. Now I got a plot for where the Bellcrank's going to go in here. So this is a reverse Bellcrank, meaning that the upline is on the front, and it's a self-centering, that the pivots for the lead outs are behind the pivot of the Bellcrank. So this thing should center because you're pulling on one point. If you turn it around this way, I mean, it'll work, but it was designed by Mike Pratt, so we'll use it the way he designed it. And I've already left this set off enough that I gotta make sure that I can get it inside my fuselage here, though. Yep, that'll be inside the fuse. Now, on the Tucker special build, we left another part off too, and that's F1. There normally is a bulkhead that goes in here. You don't need it. I just have a piece of light ply between the engine bearers here, and then a piece of aircraft ply for F2. And then you have an 1/8 inch nose ring. That's plenty. This particular model here, I did not hollow the motor mounts, but I did take 1/8 of an inch off, so setting the tank down. So that'll, that takes a little bit of the weight away. And if you look here, these engine bearers are tapered, so they're 3/8 here and 3/16 back here. So they're tapering. I'm just taking away as much weight as I can without losing any of the structural strength. So we're going to drill for the Bellcrank right there. The pivot goes right there. And I want to make sure that I'm going to miss. I have to cut the wingtip rib out still, and I have to cut a slot in the. Except I doubt it because it's straight. I'm just hoping that the lead outs are going to clear the holes that I've made for the landing gear, plus the landing gear block. Well, it'd probably be all right. Landing gear block is way back on the back. Line rake looks about right. Yep, should be fine. After building several hundred airplanes, you kind of know, I kind of know if it looks right, it's going to be right. I've been asked several times how many airplanes have I built in my life. I got no idea. It could be as much as 500. I don't know. Well, I think that's going to do it for this issue of the Tucker update. I'll work on it a little tomorrow, maybe come online. I don't know. I said I was going to do it an hour at a time online, 100%. I'll do what I can. It's just so hard working in this environment that I got to make a video plus move stuff around. So it's kind of a hassle, but I'll give you what I can. And if you have any questions, you can drop me a line on Stunt Hanger. You can ask me here. You can call me on the phone. Don't matter. Whatever. But yeah, that's sticking up there. Gonna have to sand that down. I need to go to the beauty supply store and get some fingernail files. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this evening. Been on an hour. I'll try to come on tomorrow night. Till I see you again. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.